So today, thanks for inviting me here to talk about crypto plus esports. Before I get started, I want to ask the audience, how many of you play video games? All right, a lot of people, very nice. How many of you own esports tokens? Just only one person? Wow, huge market potential, there you go. And for those of you who follow traditional sports, how many of you play fantasy sports? Okay, mostly guys, there's no female players, interesting. All right, so today's talk, firstly, I want to bring you guys up to speed really quickly about the whole market, esports and crypto. Secondly, I will talk about the landscape and explain why there's plus between crypto and esports instead of a wall. Lastly, I will analyze the landscape, bring up some challenges that I see sort of this intersection between esports and crypto is going to face. All right, so esports market, there are 700 million people who play online games. It's a huge market. About 1.2 billion people who actually play games. There's 700 million is out of them who actually play these online games. And there's 1.565 billion people, billion-dollar market estimated by 2021 for the entire esports market. That's the amount of revenue that's going to be generated according to the market. And the last set of the stats on this PowerPoint is the esports viewership. So esports has taken off since a decade ago, when it being heavily sort of streamed on the internet by platforms such like Justin TV or Twitch. And has become a phenomenon. A lot of influencers streaming video games, making money, their events being streamed, have big brands sponsoring hundreds of millions of dollars into an event that being viewed by hundreds of millions of people concurrently. Now with those stats, you guys must be wondering, esports market is a goldmine, right? It's growing really quickly in terms of revenue, in terms of viewership and player base, but what the heck is crypto doing here? For two reasons. One, if you look closely into the most really popular online game titles that's currently being played by people such as League of Legends, whether it's Dota 2, FPS games like CSGO or PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, every single game title has its native currency built in inside the game economy, where people convert fiat into this native game currency where they exchange into items or play against people where they earn and grind and earn more points. It's a way to get user engaged, increase the stickiness of each customer on this specific game title. In addition, 53% people who think that esports and online gaming competition should be considered as a traditional sport, and then a lot of people think this should be a title in the Olympics. Which brings to the next stats. About a third of the esports fans, they don't just want to watch and play, they also want to compete, getting involved. Which brings to the next slide. There's huge market opportunity on both the left side and right side. On the left side, where you have these gamers who are natively exposed to these game currencies and game assets, where blockchain can be integrated to digitize these assets, get freely transferred between one player to the other, peer-to-peer, or these currencies can be used to bet on the performances over these players in the matches and competitions. And in regards to that, in order to facilitate the transaction between fiat to game currencies and game currencies digital items, we need exchanges and marketplaces, which is why you see lots of projects recently did ICO back in 2017 and 2018 who are sort of tackling that market, such as D-Market, Wax, all these big names. And on the right side, where you have the competition side of the gaming, you have people who are competing on the bigger stages, lots of people viewing them, and this attracts a lot of viewership. And viewership generates buzz and traffic for this specific event, where the advertisers and sponsors will be interested in taking a look, because the more people who are watching, attracting attention by the events, the more exposure these brands are going to get. And according to the stats, most esports viewerships are coming from this demographic around 17 to 35-year-old, and this demographic has the more exposed income, more disposable income than the traditional viewers on these traditional sports. Now, currently a couple of trends we've been sort of observing, and the whole market needs to address. One is the legal landscape. A big chunk of the business model I mentioned in the previous slide, for example, on the left end, where you have esports betting and sports skin gambling, business like those. These are heavily dependent on how game publishers defining their rules and how federal government or state government define the activities related to that, whether it's gambling, whether it's legal or not. Secondly, on the right side of the slide, where the competitions we're providing support with, have people wagering on them. This is also in the gray area of a lot of jurisdictions, because some jurisdictions view it as a skill-based competition, which is totally legal, but some jurisdictions view it as a pari-mutuel gambling. And the second part is we're seeing more and more bigger players coming in, building sort of the infrastructure as a SaaS model to address the market need. The smaller game developers who are focusing on the game content and mechanics, they don't have the time to focus on the esports or the wagering aspect of it. So they can leverage sort of the services provided by, for example, Amazon just announced they're launching this new service called Game On, going to be attached to their cloud service at the GDC, which is happening right now in San Francisco. It's a service allow sort of game publishers to leverage their SaaS to quickly hook in this service module where users can challenge each other by using the native currencies provided by the platform, or I suspect probably Amazon going to be able to link like online gift cards or even real gifts as what's being competed on or on the stake. And the third one, what we're seeing is the scalability issue. So for FirstBlood, we're currently supporting about 1,000 matches a day, and we see this match number increasing maybe 10-folds in the next 2 months. If we are going fully decentralized processing these matches, each match takes about 8 to 9 transactions from finding the match, sending the money into the escrow, and we withdraw it, and then we're calling the witness to determine who the winner is. It's putting a lot of stress on the public blockchain we're building this technology on. So, we see this as a big issue, upcoming issue as we're scaling up on the customer base, and more users are playing on our platform. Basically, all these transactions just be jamming the network all day long. So this is something we have to think about, whether we are moving, part of transactions into a state channel, or moving it off-chain, or building something completely new other than the Ethereum blockchain we're currently building the technology on. And that's it. If you want to talk about esports and crypto, find me afterwards. Thank you.